Today I wanted to go through some photos sent by one of our dear Sangis, known as Deb. And Deb has titled these photos and paragraph along with it, Experiences and Finding Your Passions. So I hope you resonate with this. I'll read to you what these photographs, I guess, mean to Deb, and then I'll show you them. She writes, I lived and worked in London for 2 years, and it helped me realize how amazing and different New Zealand is, and how much easier it is. We are in a little world of our own at the bottom of the world. My experience was both exciting and challenging. I lived in a hostel due to high living costs. I got to meet people from all over the world. I traveled around the UK and Europe and explored many places in London. I loved it and hated it at times. It was like survival. Most people don't own cars like everyone does in New Zealand. In New Zealand, we can afford trips away on a low-income job and go out for dinner or into town, something I rarely did while I was living there. It was all sightseeing for me, and I loved it. I took so many photos, and I have a new passion after sorting through all my photos recently. I am going to travel around photographing New Zealand landscapes as I explore my own country a little more. I learned new experiences, and traveling helps us see new perspectives and can lead us towards new passions we didn't realize we had. We are always changing with the people we meet and the experiences we gain. We are here to experience the differences and challenges this planet has to offer. But I have realized we need to make sure that we are having a life too. Very beautiful. Alright, now let me show you guys these beautiful photos. I agree, G2 Infinity. Go Deb! Now let's see. Not sure how well I'll be able to put these photos in frame for you. These are some famous landmarks around London that Deb saw firsthand. I've seen this before. I forget exactly what it is, but wow, even captured the plane behind. A monument commemorating something. Maybe one of you know. Just 4 photos. That's the first one. Beautiful sunset, transition from the orange, and oh my goodness, I didn't even realize the clock tower is in the background with the Big Ben bell inside. This is Nelson's column. Thank you, Louise and Chris. It's funny. The most iconic landmark is also there. And here we have some other angles of the clock tower. I forget the name of this clock tower, but I know that the bell inside is called Big Ben, and most people think that the clock tower itself is called Big Ben. But actually it's just the biggest bell at the top that's known as Ben. Oh, how interesting. I've never noticed that there's some inscription below the clock. Written in some Gothic font. Looks like Latin of some kind. Maybe a hallmark to the time that the Romans lived here. It's Elizabeth Tower. Thank you, dear Phoenix Witch. And it's fairly newly been renovated. Ah, how lovely. And I see all the different crosses up top. It's amazingly decorated. I never really knew that before. And then here we have British Parliament, I think. We can see the Elizabeth Tower right on the side, next to the river, which I'm forgetting the name of, the very famous river that flows through London. This is Westminster, the Palace of Westminster. Ah, that's what it is. Thank you. The Thames River. Thank you. Yeah, this is the classic London experience right here. And then here's the this is London Bridge, isn't it? Or is this one of those misnomers as well, where we think of it as London Bridge, but it's Tower Bridge, isn't it? That's it. Yeah, the history of that bridge is quite amazing. No, yeah, that's right. I think the original London Bridge was I guess a few hundred meters to the side, or maybe less than that. But this is relatively newer, but still has a very rich history. And what a beautiful sunset. Look at the purples at the top, and oh, the streaks of yellow as reflected in the water. How beautiful. The orange spectrum shares G to infinity. That's a very sacred hour. Now that is the other Brahma Muhurta, the hour of God. There's one that happens just before the sun rises and just after it sets. Best time to meditate is when the sky's looking like this. Those were the 4 pictures. I'll go back through them. Now, I can remember them. I learned something new about all of these. This is Tower Bridge, Westminster Palace, Elizabeth Tower, and Nelson's Pillar. How lovely. It's all there. Oh, what a beautiful story about leaving home and discovering a passion for photography, and then returning home and photographing your own land that you were raised in or grew up around. Thank you, dear Deb. This has been Experiences and Finding Your Passions. How sweet. And I love that. Yeah. No need to overcomplicate show and tell. Please, if anyone else wants to ever share something, it can just be some photographs and the meaning behind them. We've got a couple more lined up, and if you want to be added to that list, check out the application form in the link tree in my bio. I say application form, I'm not sure what else to describe it as. It's not like I'm going through it and going, yep, you're accepted, nope, you're rejected. So far I haven't rejected any of them. It is a form though, a Google form, and it gets added to my Google Sheets. So check that out. Thank you for listening and watching to this section of Show and Tell.